Okay, we're going to do joins and junction tables, parent-child relationships. Okay, you have a parent-child relationship like publishers and titles. So you've got publishers, title, publishing books, which are titles. So each publisher can have multiple titles. So you've got that one to many. And this is called a foreign key. This is a foreign key relationship. So when you have this foreign key relationship, the default is that orphans are not allowed. You're not allowed to have titles without having publishers. And when you have a many-to-many relationship, you have to put a table between them, which is either called a junction table or a linking table. And that then becomes the child to the two tables that have this many-to-many relationship. In this case, we have authors and titles, because a title, a book, can have multiple authors, and an author can have multiple titles. In fact, you could have a book that has multiple authors, and then you can have, well, yeah, and then you have authors that have multiple books. Just said that. Okay, now the relationship becomes the child here. It was what you end up with is a row of data for each relationship. For example, if you have a book that has 3 authors, then you're going to need 3 rows of data in the linking table to show the author has you'll have the author, each author will have a record here which will also have the same title with that row. So you'd have, you know, that book, then the first author, and then the next row would be that same book with the next author, and so on. Okay, so when you work with these with joins, let's look at first just a parent-child relationship where we'll just use two tables. We'll use the author table and the title author table. So if we link that data together like this, okay, so now this is a left outer join. We could have just said like full. That's full outer join. So what we want to do is pull all the data from both tables. So here you can see we have some authors that don't have books. But because we don't have the book table, we can't see the books that don't have authors. And we don't have any of these linking rows that don't have authors. That would be orphan data. If we had data here, but then we had nulls here, now the full outer join would let us do that, but the foreign key will not let us have data like that, because these would be orphaned rows. So in this case, we'd pull the same data if we said left outer join. So I'm going to do left outer join, and now you can see we get the same data. We still have these records that do not have these parent records that do not have matching children. And of course, we don't have any children that don't have matching parents, because that would be orphan data. But you see, if I say right, that data will go away, because now we're not allowing authors to violate the on clause. We would allow this, but this is child data, so that doesn't work. Okay, so that would be the same thing as just doing regular join, which is the same thing as also doing an inner join. So now we would only get rows that match. So again, we only get the rows that match. But left is the interesting one here, because this is the named table. See, this table is to the left of this table, so that's the named table. And the named table gets all of its rows returned even if there's no match, while the other table, the non-named table, has to obey the on clause. And then let's look at using all 3 tables. So we've got the title joined to the title author, which is then joined to the authors. And if we do just a straight inner join, we'll get only the records that match on both sides. So we get no nulls, as you can see here, and you can see, but yet we know there are nulls in here. We know we have some authors that don't have books, and we have some books that don't have authors, but those won't be here because we're doing inner joins. Now, if we do a left again, so we're making this the named table, so we want to return all the titles. So this should show me all of the titles that don't have any authors. Those should still show up now. But we don't see any nulls. And why is that? That's because this got evaluated first and then this got evaluated. And the join here is an inner join, and the inner join here is saying no, 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 no. I'm not allowing either side to return without matches. So the left join doesn't work there. Now what if I say left here, because this stuff is now ahead of that. So if I do that, now you can see now it's there. So now we're saying left titles. So that got us this row, the title without the and then we had to say left again to get it to show up. Now if we want the authors too, then we have to make this full. So that would have both sides as named. So now this should return all the records, and it does. So now we have that book, and we have those authors, and then we have the rest of the data. So that returns all of it. Okay, and of course that would be the same thing as saying full here. Yeah. Okay, that's good.